Hey everybody, it's me, Ashley Brooke. I wanted to hop on real fast and just share with you guys some experiences that I had recently. So, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm autistic. And lately I've been meeting other people that are on the spectrum, and for the most part, the ones that I meet are, I get along with them. There's a connection. There's similarities. There's respect, and I'm able to engage and have the faith to see the good in them, because I know how our brains function, and I know that it's not like our first instinct to lie. We're not like vindictive people. It's just and I mean, you can explain it in science. Autistic people are not like that. So that makes me feel really good when I'm engaging and making new friends that are autistic. However, I don't want to I don't want to go and say that a person that says that they're autistic is not autistic, because I hate when people do that to me. But even if they are, I think, on the spectrum, and let's say they have a dual diagnosis, okay, or they are have an addiction problem, it really makes them like a whole lot different. And I mean, they may, from what I have experienced, even autistics, when I've known ones that had addiction problems, or I've known ones that had alcohol problem, or that just drank often because of sensory thing. They weren't belligerent, but they were like, just drinking too consistently, I was one of those before, a long time ago. And I know from my personal experience that when I say I was an alcoholic, I was not an alcoholic the way people would think, the way that it's recognized with like AA. I was never irresponsible when I drank, and I never was like on the floor drunk. I was always, never went to work drunk. It was much different for me. But the consistency was a little, would be concerning, However, I know that because of my autism, I never got too out of hand, and I think that is an autism thing. I think that we naturally don't engage in overly stimulating situations, so we don't get in trouble that much, and I feel that, and I grew up in a very dysfunctional home, so I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm correct when saying this. This is my experience with my autism, and this is my experience with people that I have met, and I wonder, and I kind of feel like. Sometimes I wonder, if they're I don't want to say it wrong, It's like once it's a dual diagnosis, or once you have another a situation, not just dealing with their challenges, but an addiction problem or something like that. It makes that person different to where when you have friends that are on the spectrum, you're on the spectrum, and one of them has a problem, it is very difficult, more so I would say than me dealing with a neurotypical that's like that. Like dealing with an autistic person when they're having a substance abuse issue or an alcohol issue. And I haven't experienced it with people with alcohol, but I have experienced it with autistic person that was on substances. And I can't help but be really bothered, and I don't know And it's more because I feel like when they're having their sensory stimulation, I'm able to watch it, but I also notice the substance issue, in effect, and watching is like, it gives me anxiety more so. I think maybe because I can understand how their sensory issues are feeling. So seeing them overwhelmed with and then seeing them not in, it makes me feel kind of like I can't be around it. Like, I panic. I don't want to be around anybody like that. And I felt bad about that but I shouldn't though, because those are called boundaries. But those people that are addicted to substances and alcohol because they are hurt or whatever reason, because of their autism and stuff, I feel like my heart goes out to them, because I've once been in those shoes when I drank, because I was raised and taught to feel bad that I'm autistic, to be ashamed of it. So I get it. I get how deep it can go, and it's really unfortunate. But it's also how do you say, it's so damaging to their ability, to them ever having the ability to manage their autism or be happy. It's just the person's just on autopilot. It's so weird. I can't handle it, and I feel so bad. But at the same time, I can handle repetitiveness, and that's what happens when they're doing those types of things. They get extremely repetitive, more so than an addict would be repetitive, and I can't handle repetitive noise. So I'm really, I feel really bad, because I want to be nice, but I also know that if I'm not gonna say I know, but I feel that if a person is really on the spectrum, okay? I'm not saying that. It's just what I feel, you guys. It's not fact. It's my opinion. If somebody's really on the spectrum, they're not going to get that deep in anything like that. They may have experience or whatever, because that's the world that they live in. But I've met two other autistic people that they had problems, with substances and alcohol, and they still, they didn't. It never took them to another, never took them to where they're doing things that they wouldn't usually do. It's it just seems like, I don't think that the drugs affected the people that were on the spectrum, or the alcohol affected them the way that it would have neurotypical. You know what I'm saying? So if you see someone and they're like, oh, I'm autistic, and they're high as a damn kite, and they're it's no. And an autistic person would be like, I don't need this drug. What? I'm already fucking having anxiety. So I feel like autism was misdiagnosed for a long time, where they had autism, and they were calling it bipolar, calling it schizophrenia, or whatever. And that's really messed up, and especially for females. Yes, I agree 1,000%. Okay? But, and this is coming from somebody that people often say, oh, you don't seem autistic. So please know that I understand what it feels like to me in that situation, but in those shoes. But I have to agree that there are some people, I think, out there that are using it as, I don't know. I don't think that's a trend, or maybe the trend to make an awareness and be helpful in that way. But I do see people that are oh, I'm autistic, and I'm bipolar and schizophrenic, and I'm a party, and I listen to metal music, and it's that sounds like an autistic person's nightmare. But maybe I'm wrong. They say there's a wide spectrum. I don't know. I can't imagine it though, but. I don't know, just brainstorming. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me, inform me if you guys have something to say, if you are autistic, and I'm just trying to understand this, because I kind of have my boundary, I my safety awareness is I put it down when I'm engaging autistics because I trust them. So it's kind of scary when when I